Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Jerry Ford and I will be your host for this TLC session. We're excited that you've joined us today for Flipping the Classroom in a New Direction, Canvas for Faculty Support. Please welcome Dr. Dan Tinianow, Dr. Adam Gutschmidt, and Dr. Mingzhen Bao.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this final session before the closing keynote, which I hope you will view when it begins. I know we only have 30 minutes and we have a lot to cover, so I'm going to jump right into this. I'm Dan Tinianow. I'm the program chair of communication studies in the College of Liberal Arts, and my co-presenters for this session are Adam Gutschmidt, an assistant professor of communication arts, and Mingzhen Bao, our associate dean who oversees, among other programs, our communication studies program. I think I said communication arts, which is a throwback to my last institution, so I apologize for that. The presentation file is available at tinyurl.com/AU-TLC18 if you want to grab a copy of it or take a look on your own computer. I will just let you take a look at the outline of the presentation. And then we will get right into the content of the presentation. And thanks in advance, Kate Johnson, of course, incredibly busy with TLC right now, so pre-recorded this conversation that you'll see in a few minutes. So, what you're about to hear about, where did it come from? I think we're getting on 2 years now, maybe longer, when the official announcement was made that Ashford University was switching from eCollege to Canvas. I looked at this as a great opportunity for myself because when I came in 5 years ago in 3 days, eCollege was a done deal. I never really felt that I had the opportunity to learn to use it to its fullest potential. And going to a new LMS, I think I saw that there was an opportunity there to learn the Canvas ropes and to really be a more skilled instructor in terms of the technology base we were using than I had ever learned to be with eCollege. So I signed up through Instructure at the Canvas community, started playing around with some of the authoring tools, which I knew I wouldn't have direct, or thought I wouldn't have direct access to. And very quickly it became clear to me that there was a lot of potential in Canvas that would take us well beyond our curriculum. The plan, of course, was to port over our existing classes to Canvas, but I saw that there was much more that we could potentially use Canvas for. And the idea that was most engaging to me or most interesting to me was this possibility of using it to engage with my cohort of faculty in communication studies, the associate faculty that I work with, and we'd always had challenges, more so in making it possible for them to communicate with one another and to form a community, less so with Adam and myself and Mingzhen and others being able to communicate with them because we used email for that. But I wanted something more of a traditional faculty community. So I worked in Canvas community. I tried to familiarize myself with what was available in Canvas before we launched Canvas. And then, of course, we moved to Canvas well over a year ago now. And I, shortly after that, asked Cole McFerrin to provide me with a blank course to use for the purpose of a faculty engagement space. And I fully expected for Cole to say, well, of course you can't have a blank class. I was prepared for that reality, but quite surprisingly, he said yes. And I had access to it fairly quickly, and I began to set it up within the limits of what Ashford had decided the implementation of Canvas was going to be, but also using what I'd learned about in the Canvas community. So within a month or so, I got it into shape for what I wanted to launch it with our associate faculty based on what I perceived the needs were. We wanted to be able to share resources. So guidance, worksheets, anything that might be of use to a group of faculty teaching a single course. We wanted to promote, as I said earlier, dialogue between associate faculty. We had the ability to talk to them and for them to respond to us one-on-one, but I had tried other things to create community, and none of them had really taken off. So this was a high priority, was creating this community and dialogue between our associate faculty. And of course, to maintain and enhance that channel of communication from leadership. And then, I recognized that there were going to be other possibilities that occurred to me as I worked with this resource further. So I was open to whatever else might occur. And as we moved into Canvas Phase 2 and are looking at Canvas Phase 3, I always have an eye out towards what might be used for our comm studies faculty course to make it a richer experience, a more useful tool for all of us, leadership and associate faculty. So let's take a quick look at the course itself. This is the landing page. It's a little bit different from your typical course, which has the modules for each week. And it's redundant. There's redundancy here between the left-hand menu, which is, again, a little bit different than what you see in a class. And some of these links are redundant over here. I mentioned sharing resources, so we'll jump to the files. And there's a file folder for each of our courses, even a course that is pre-launch, that won't be launched until April of next year, I believe. Our existing courses all have folders, so if you go into the Speech 103 folder, you'll see that there's some worksheets, some rubrics. We were never able to fully integrate rubrics for video presentations into Waypoint, so we made them available here. And because this is a half-hour session, I don't have time to really show you a lot more, but there is a lot more there. So it does take a moment for the slideshow to load again. So I apologize for that, the brief delay. So this really gets us current to where we are now and how we got there. And I thought I'd let Adam tell you a little bit more detail about where we are and how things are working before we start looking to the future.
Great, thanks, Dan. So now that we've had this Canvas course for our faculty set up for about a year now, we've tried to utilize it in several different ways. And we'll kind of go over first a few of those ways that we found particularly helpful for both us, Dan and myself, and all of our associate faculty, including being able to really have a forum for sharing announcements and messages. So this was particularly useful, as Dan mentioned, with the public speaking course that we developed. That course was developed within the past couple of years, and we've had a lot of different new additions and changes to the way the course is taught, and it's been helpful to use the Canvas course as a way to make sure all of our faculty members who teach that course are aware of any updates and changes that have been included or added to that course. So using those announcements has been helpful. Another way is through content sharing, and Dan showed you on the Canvas course page the files section. So whether it's standardized guidance, if any of you were in attendance earlier today for my presentation, I've been using Adobe Spark as a way of creating standardized guidance for some of our communication courses, and we can share the links or the embed codes right in the Canvas course for our faculty, as well as any other important documents that they may need for their courses. And lastly, and I think probably the most interesting way, is through discussion forum engagement. So we've been able to set up threads for each of the individual courses taught in Comm Studies for faculty members to talk about any issues that they're having, problems that they're having, ideas for changes to assignments or anything else. But we've also been using it as a way of kind of building community. So it's not just simply focused on the courses, but we'll also have threads, for instance, talking about what sort of holiday plans our faculty have, and how do you deal with time management between the holidays and teaching your courses. So it's been a good opportunity for us to build a community and engage with one another in the class. With that said, though, now that we've been doing this for over a year, we've seen some challenges that are presented for us that we need to work on in order to continue to make this space as useful for all of our faculty as possible. And one of those challenges is engagement. How do we make sure we keep all of our faculty engaged in this space? So we saw a lot of activity early on when it was first introduced, but as the months go on and people's schedules become busy and they're focusing on teaching, it's been not always easy to get everyone fully participating in this Canvas space. The other issue then is time, and making sure that we all have time devoted towards making this space useful. And this is particularly true for Dan and myself, as our lives and our schedules get extremely busy, making sure that we have enough time so that way we're not ignoring the site, and making sure our faculty know this remains a good space for them to come to work with each other and talk with each other. So the last point I'll make is just sort of the feedback we've gotten from faculty since starting this. And we've seen a lot of positive feedback in terms of them liking the idea of having this space. With that said, they certainly want to see more engagement and more involvement from all of the faculty so that it remains a useful space. And I think a lot of these aspects of feedback that we've heard are going to be addressed more in this video that we're now going to show you from Kate Johnson, who is our Manager of Faculty Engagement here at Ashford.
We'll jump to that video quickly. I'll put it up full screen. How has the Canvas-based faculty development concept evolved and expanded since being introduced?
You know, when you and I spoke, gosh, almost a year ago about, you know, this concept, and you had kind of told me a little bit about what you were doing in your own classroom, and we had decided to sort of roll out the opportunity to other faculty. Faculty were really eager to get their own classrooms open. I would say we went from 0 to 65 in a pretty short period of time. The concept about a faculty learning community that lived within our native LMS system was really exciting, I think, both to the two of us and obviously to other program chairs and course leads. I think even though there has been so much expansion, I truly feel like in 2018, we're really still kind of in the infancy of what this program could become. There are some rooms where there's, you know, 50 to 60 associate faculty that are participating within them. There's some that have yet to have their rooms completed. And then there are rooms that have, you know, more of a standard 15 to 20 associate faculty, which are participating or not participating as time is allowed because of the asynchronous environment.
What kind of feedback have you gotten from course leaders and course participants?
The feedback that I've received is that associate faculty love it. There's obviously a learning curve to the setup of it all. You know, full-time faculty have reported that they can, you know, sort of easily direct communication to that place. So they send one communication, it has maybe a number of updates in it, and let their associate faculty know all of those updates exist and live within their, you know, faculty learning community. So I've been in rooms where they're having just a discussion about an update within the classroom, where a program chair has added a video kind of explaining a new assignment. So they've, you know, the faculty who are sort of early adopters are really using it as kind of a one-stop shop, a hub, if you will. And the associate faculty like that because it's a singular place where they can go where they can, gain all of the information that they might be looking for that particular program.
How do you feel this concept has contributed to faculty engagement?
I think probably the biggest contribution, if you look at our faculty body as a whole, having faculty all over the country who are singularly present within their classrooms. There aren't any other faculty members that are in their classrooms. Some have never stepped foot on any of our campuses, may have never even met in person another faculty member from Ashford. So what these faculty learning communities sort of do for them is create a home or a home base, a place where they can go for learning, a place they can go for questions, a place they can go for community, where they can get that connection to names and faces, because people can post videos and post photos within discussions that they may not otherwise be getting. I think that is critical to a mostly, almost completely remote faculty body, and getting them connected not only to the institution, but to each other.
What challenges and opportunities do you see looking forward?
Again, I think the challenges are, of course, that it's a mostly remote faculty body. Trying to get folks to see these learning communities as more than just a housing place for resources, that they truly can use it as a place where they can connect with like-minded individuals, or at least like-educated individuals, if they're teaching within the same program. And then, of course, we have faculty who are at different levels in regards to engagement with their own associate faculty. Some have tried and failed in different avenues and feeling a little bit shy about putting in the effort to create one of these courses. But outside of that, I really only see opportunities for this in the future. I see it as a common experience that our associate faculty can have, something that we can talk about, that we offer our associate faculty as an online institution. I think there will be a number of models of different ways that a program chair who may not be as familiar with Canvas or how to engage their faculty. I've already seen a number of different ways that program chairs are leading engagement efforts within their own Canvas course, within that learning community. So it doesn't have to be a one-size-fits-all. There's a lot of flexibility, and kind of a neat byproduct of this is we've seen one or two student learning communities that are starting to crop up within these Canvas courses, which I think is a great marrying of those two, building community within faculty so that they feel strong and confident enough to build community within their students within those programs as well. So it's not just, a siloed faculty community and a siloed student community, but eventually we're building that community among all of the programs.
Okay, sorry for the involuntary YouTube commercial. And thanks, by the way, to Kate Johnson, who was already very busy last week prepping for TLC when she sat down to do that interview. So I don't know if you're in the session right now, Kate, I'm guessing not, but thank you. And please pass along my thanks once again. Now, I'm going to ask Mingzhen to kind of shift our view a little bit more towards the future.
Thanks, Dan. Also, thanks to Kate for sharing her thoughts and for her amazing work in TLC. Okay, I would like to echo Kate's comments on faculty experience in the faculty support classes. So in the College of Liberal Arts, we have launched 3 faculty classes in Canvas for instructors in the programs of communication studies, culture anthropology, and sociology. I have listed our chairs and co-faculty just in case you would like to follow up with them for additional information of course design. Next slide, please. So Elaine shared with me some of the positive feedback that we have received from our instructors in the sociology program. They have really enjoyed the closer accessibility of having all the resources available in Canvas, especially those resources that faculty can transfer into their own classrooms, such as sample announcements. So on top of sharing resources, there were other elements that have been included in the faculty classes, and I've got an opportunity to visit the communications and the anthropology faculty classes. The classroom elements in general could be classified into 4 categories. First, it's a storage site for program files and recordings. Second, it's where the chairs and co-faculty share program and curriculum updates with their instructors. So I have seen introduction to Civitas, Canvas new features in the announcements section. And if there are notes that needs to be delivered within a time window, they are usually sent to inbox. For example, a Zoom meeting reminder. Third, it's a faculty engagement and learning community. They read each other's bios, share research in discussions. They email each other and talk to each other and work together on shared documents. Usually those are Google documents. Finally, and I really love this, it's where we receive faculty feedback from our associates, either through quizzes or course level discussion folders. And these folders can also serve as an additional area where we share teaching tips and instructor guides. Next slide, please. So moving forward, we would like to build more faculty support classes for our programs and divisions, more classroom elements to recognize faculty achievement. Multidisciplinary classes, for example, faculty research for all the faculty members at Ashford. And we would also like to explore more possibilities to better serve and engage our students, such as student groups for majors and minors, as well as student clubs. And groups to connect students with faculty so that it's not just siloed student or siloed faculty groups, as Kate just mentioned in her presentation. This morning, I was in this TLC Dean's panel, and I heard from Pamela, Associate Dean in the College of Health, and she talked about this student learning community where they combine online community with regional outreach activities. So I feel like this is something really exciting. So if you or your colleges have already started to work on some of these areas, please reach out to us. We look forward to meeting with you and learning from you. Faculty and student engagement or support is a critical requirement for online teaching and learning. So once a support course goes online, we need to continually maintain and improve the classroom so that it becomes a real benefit for our faculty and students. So thank you, and I'll turn it over back to Dan.
Thank you, Mingzhen, and also thank you, Adam, for your part in this. We have actually 6 minutes left for any question and answer and brainstorming. And I since we have a little bit more time, I want to emphasize a point Mingzhen just made, which is there's nothing built into the system that we've set up to facilitate sharing of ideas between what we're doing in communication studies and what anthropology, sociology is doing. And I think, in fact, I'm almost sure that there's some great ideas out there that other people are doing that I haven't heard of and could be applied successfully in our course. So one thing that I think would be good would be facilitating sharing of ideas between course leaders for different programs. But I'd like to open it up to your questions, your comments, any brainstorming that you might want to do. I'd be interested to know how many attendees are in one or more of these courses right now, actually. Hopefully someone will type some questions or comments. Yes, in the chat, please, if you have any questions or would like to extend the discussion of any of the points that we've covered so far. The question is, can people outside the program gain entrance to classrooms, like staff, like FSDAs? Anyone who has a Canvas account, a Canvas login, can be added to the course by the course lead, by the manager or the teacher of record of the course. But of course, you would have to ask them to add you. And it's really not a big deal. And I've had program chairs and other programs in other divisions of the school ask me for access to my course, and I've always granted it because it's a good way to find out what's going on. Canvas community. Irina asked about Canvas community. I don't have the URL, but Instructure is the developer of Canvas. So you could search Instructure Canvas community, and I think you would be able to sign up. You can create your own courses in Canvas community, but what's really valuable there are the discussions. Like very early on, I thought it would be great in Canvas, and this is not related to what we're talking about today, but every time I set up a course before I started, if it's the same course, it's the same setup. And wouldn't it be great if there was a way to script that? So all the announcements are posted with the delay times, you know, and icebreakers for discussions and whatnot. So I went to Canvas community and I asked, is there a way to do that? And the answer I got was, no, there's no way to do that. But it's good to have the experts, and Instructure has people monitoring those discussions as well. So Canvas community is well worth looking into, especially if you have any interest at all in getting a little bit deeper into the workings of Canvas and authoring within the Canvas LMS context. So I encourage anyone with any interest at all to set up a free account and do a little exploring. If you decide it's not for you, you haven't wasted that much time, but you might find it to be a very valuable resource. Any other questions? Or any points that you'd like us to get back to that we could expand upon possibly? If you've been waiting for the last minute to ask your question, the last minute is now here. Faculty survey. Yeah, we want to really exploit this resource for creating community and multiple channels of communication. And if it works out that everyone teaching, course COM 123, all of our instructors want to have a brainstorming area, we can facilitate that. So the first survey that we did was about in addition to other things, what do you want out of this course? What else can we provide? So I think doing periodic surveys using the quiz tool is worth doing in these courses. perhaps a few more questions, a few more seconds for one last question, but if not, thank you so much for your attention. Adam and Mingzhen and myself are all happy to take any questions that you might have, or to work with those of you who are leading these courses and maybe set up a way to share ideas for those of us who are leading these courses. So you know how to reach us. Again, tinyurl.com/AUTLC2018. And once again, thank you very much.
Yes, thanks so much to all three of you for your informative presentation and for all of you joining this session this afternoon. Be sure to tune in to the final keynote of the TLC conference coming up next.